everyone, welcome back to the channel where maths finally makes sense. Today we're tackling one of the most important algebra skills you'll need for GCSE and beyond, solving simultaneous equations. Don't worry if that sounds complicated. We'll break everything down step by step, and by the end you'll feel confident solving them yourself. Now let's start with the basics. What are simultaneous equations? Simultaneous equations are just two equations that both involve the same unknowns, usually x and y. When we solve them, we're trying to find one value for x and one value for y that works in both equations at the same time. This is what simultaneous means, happening at the same time. Let's solve two questions using two different methods, one by elimination and one with substitution. Now let's jump in. Question 1 we'll solve using elimination. We can see on the screen two equations that we need to solve. 4x plus 3y equals 18 and x minus 3y equals 7. Alright, elimination means we want to add or subtract the equations to eliminate one of the variables. Now let's try and decide which one we want to get rid of, whether it be x or y. If we take a look at the numbers in front of an x, we have 4 and 1, which means they're different. And while we can cancel them out, it will be a little bit harder. Now let's look at the y's. We've got a plus 3 and a minus 3. If we were to add the two equations, the y's will cancel out. So this is probably the easier way to do it in this case. Let's start by adding both equations. I've put a little plus sign in the corner so that we can remind ourselves we're adding the equations. And almost like a column method, let's add the variables. 4x plus x is 5x. 3y minus 3y is 0. So we've got 0y. And 18 plus 7 is 25. We can rewrite this to simply 5x is equal to 25. Now divide both sides by 5 to get x on its own, because that's the variable we're trying to solve for. This gives us x is equal to 5. Now that we've got an answer for x, let's substitute it into one of the equations we're working with, either the first or the second. In this case, because x only has a coefficient of 1 in the second equation, I'm going to use that and substitute our value into that. This means we've got 5 minus 3y is equal to 7. If we subtract 5 from both sides, we get minus 3y is equal to 7 minus 5. Or simply put, minus 3y is equal to 2. Now let's divide by minus 3, which means y is equal to 2 divided by minus 3, or y is equal to minus 2 over 3, because we can bring the negative out front. And there we have it. We have two values for x and for y. A quick check we can carry out is by substituting our values for x and y back into an equation we haven't used yet, in this case the first one. Let's do that to see if our answer is correct. The first equation was 4x plus 3y is equal to 18. Let's substitute our x and our y to see if adding them together in this combination gives us 18. So 4 lots of 5, because x equals 5, plus 3 lots of minus 2 over 3 should be equal to 18. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 3 lots of minus 2 over 3, which is minus 2, should be equal to 18. And it is. 20 minus 2 is in fact 18. This shows that we've managed to get the right answer. And that's how we would solve simultaneous equations using elimination. The second equations we can solve are using substitution. What does substitution mean? Substitution means we will take one equation and substitute it into another to try and get rid of a variable. In this case, we want to try and get a single letter on its own. Whether that be X or Y is up to you. Let's take a look at the question we're working with to decide which letter we want to get on its own. Our first equation is x minus 3y equals minus 23. And our second equation is 5x plus 2y equals 4. Having looked at the equations, it seems easiest to first rearrange for x in the first equation, which I've marked in red. This is because the number in front of x is simply a 1, and we won't need to divide through by anything. Let's do this now. Our original equation is x minus 3y is equal to minus 23. Let's add 3y on both sides. To get x is equal to minus 23 plus 3y. Or rearrange and we get x is equal to 3y minus 23. Let's put this equation in red so that we know to work with it in the future. Let's substitute the equation we've got in terms of x into our second equation, which I've marked in green. Wherever there's an x, we can substitute the new equation we've found. So we get 5 times 3y minus 23 plus 2y is equal to 4. Now let's expand out the brackets to get 15y minus 115 plus 2y is equal to 4. Combining like terms gives us 17y minus 115 is equal to 4. Now let's add 115 to both sides to try and get y on its own. And we get 17y is equal to 119. Finally, let's divide by 17 to get y is equal to 7. Now that we've got our value for y, we can substitute it in any of the three equations, whether it be the first, the second, or the one we calculated for x. To make it easier, because x is on its own in the equation in the red box, let's substitute our value for y into there to get a value for x. This means x is equal to 3y minus 23. Or x is equal to 3 lots of 7 minus 23. X is equal to 21 minus 23, which gives us a value for x of minus 2. And now that we've solved for both x and y, we can perform a similar check by substituting it into either equation. Because we've already used the equation which involves the 3y, I'm going to substitute our values for x and y into the green equation. So 5 lots of x, so 5 times minus 2, plus 2y, and y was 7, should equal 4, if we have got the correct answer. Now expanding this out, 5 times minus 2 is minus 10, plus 2 times 7 should equal 4. Or minus 10 plus 14 should equal 4. And oh look, it does. So this means we've managed to find the correct value for x and y which solves this simultaneous equation. So there you go. 2 different methods to solve simultaneous equations. Elimination, where you can cancel a variable by adding or subtracting, and substitution, where it's easier to arrange and plug in. Let me know in the comments which method you prefer, or which one gives you the most trouble. And don't forget to subscribe for more clear, step-by-step maths videos. If you've got any other questions, don't hesitate to drop them in the comments. You've got this.